going back in your career a little bit to some of the other roles you've played, and both big movies like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, but also, as we know, in these awards turns, movies like Shine, movies like The King's Speech, and Shine is now, what, 16 years ago. Do the scripts really start to change? How does that affect your career?
Shine definitely pushed my life in a completely different direction that I didn't anticipate or expect or see coming. But after that, I don't know, I think you have your own criteria for what is going to be the next job. Because I grew up in a repertory theatre system where you'd be playing The Marriage of Figaro by Beaumarchais one night, and then you'd be a small part in Pal Joey the next night, And I've always quite liked that to be the rhythm of the career shape. And then by fate, I got offered 2 Elizabethan roles, and I thought this probably is what you'd call career suicide, because no one had really tapped into that genre since the 60s, with Man for All Seasons and Anne of 1,000 Days, and Glenda Jackson was being, all of that. But I liked the fact that in one film I got to play a very strange Machiavellian political animal, a straight role, and in the other one I got to be this sort of Elizabethan stink bug hack producer in the climate of a comic genre. So I just enjoyed that for what it was worth, thinking these films they're going to be very small art house. They won't make it to Sherman Oaks, I know that.
You've made it when you're in Sherman Oaks.
And I remember talking to all the guys, when we were filming Shakespeare in Love, we said, there's no way Harvey Weinstein is going to put Shakespeare in the title, because it's death, Right. And we came up with all these alternatives, like, I came up with Goodwill Humping. And then
I think that's on Cinemax.
And then one of the other guys said, what about The Full Montague? And I thought, actually, we're onto something. But it ended up being a date movie.
If there is a role, either in a literary property we know, or in something, some bigger franchise, as they say, that you haven't gotten to play that you would like to play, what is it? I mean, it's hard to imagine there are many types of roles you haven't played over both on stage and on the screen. But what would it be?
I don't have a wish list for a film. Maybe. Television's becoming such a strong new world, particularly in the American idiom, because it's, I don't know, I've read some stuff about this. It's like the bigger the blockbusters and the tent poles get, the more dramatic and the more interesting and the more edgy the TV series become, and people go, let's really do what Hollywood used to do. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, the downside of that is you have friends arrive for a weekend and they bring the entire 4 series of The Wire and insist...
Make you watch it. Yeah,
and make you watch it, you know what I mean? But I've done that with a few things, I'm a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy.
There you go.
I just keep watching the comic brilliance of that show over and over. But, if I got to do something, I want to find a role... Because I'm getting older now, and the choices are a little more limited. Yeah. In theater, I'm thinking about Lear. When the time is right and when the story maybe completes itself, I wouldn't mind playing Rupert Murdoch.
Wow, there you go. The Australian, I can't think of many other things you have in common, but the Australian part, I think you'd have down.
Yeah, good prosthetics.
There you go. Do that too.
I don't know.
I'm now thinking of a Geoffrey Rush, Larry David collaboration. Having said the Curb Your Enthusiasm thing,
well, that would be my fantasy. I actually did an interview the other day with a whole bunch of actors, and James Franco was among them. And I was just raving to him. I said, I'm the guy on the plane with the headphones on, watching This Is the End, and just screaming with laughter and having people look at me very sort of, strangely. And he more or less said, he said, man, you should, would Seth Rogen put you into one of his films like that? And I went, I don't see myself in that way, but I actually I just felt the rhythm, the comedic. I'm very interested in contemporary comedies because mostly they're gag structured or there's a lot of slacker comedies. But that film had such a strong premise, and I thought the dialogue riffs were worthy of a Billy Wilder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Smart exchanges where you go, this is explosive comedy.